Welcome back to Low Battery Moms, where nothing is planned and everything is said. Clearly, we're going to be mixing it up today because Jordan is sick. So I invited my mom to come on the podcast, AKA Paranormal Glamma.
It's spooky time. Hi, my spookies. Here I am on a podcast with my daughter, and she's going to be interviewing me, and maybe we'll get some insight as to why I've gone MIA.
So if you guys don't already know, my mom has her own TikTok channel where she talks about spooky stories, whether it's things that happen to us or experiences that other people have had. She's gotten a pretty good community on there, but like she said, she did kind of go MIA, and we'll get more into that a little bit later. But I wanted to start off with more about you. So, you have how many kids?
I have 4 kids, 3 boys and 1 girl.
I'm the only girl, and I'm the baby. So, let that sink in. Now, how many grandchildren do you have?
I have a beautiful grand total of 11 grandchildren. And of those 11, I have only 3 boys. And it's funny, there's like a funny little story I say to that because I had my 3 boys. After my first boy, I wanted a girl, and I kept having boy. And I thought after my third boy, that was it. So I sat them down one day and I said, I curse you boys. You're going to bring me nothing but girls. So today, like I said, I have 11 grandchildren. Of the 11, I only have 3 grandsons. And the rest are all girls.
And she's also a great grandmother with a grand total of
4 great grandchildren. And of the 4, I only have 1 great grandson. So my girl.
So girls rule the world in our little corner of the family. Okay. I also wanted to talk about your perception of being a single mom versus a married mom, because you were both, and what it was, I guess, what was the easiest for you?
Well, like I had my first 2 boys and single. No, their father never contributed anything. He totally went MIA to this day. Heaven knows where he's at or if he's alive. I met my uh, second husband when my boys were, it was during the disco era. Had a lot of fun. But my boys were still little. My son Mike was my baby, and he was, I'd say, I'm going to say, I think he was like 5. And my husband, Pat, wonderful man. I do gotta say, wonderful because he took in my boys as his very own. His family, superb. They treated my boys like they were theirs. To this day, they do. And then we had our son, Patrick, and life was good. We had a good time. He had 2 girls from a previous marriage, so our kids really got along real good. They were brothers, sisters. They loved each other, and to this day, they're good. The girls, from time to time, still communicate with me, which is very good. And it was a good life. It was a little bit easier, but then again, it
What?
it wasn't, and that being because, well, I still felt I had to be the one for my 2 boys, and so it's kind of hard.
Okay, hold on. Miss Bossy had to go outside.
So, it was kind of hard. Hard in the sense that I had to learn to share my kids with another family that wasn't, mine. And that was kind of hard for me. And, but, it was good to have a second family for my kids because they had a lot of fun growing up. They had a lot of bonding with cousins, a set of grandparents when they only had my mom. So it really benefited my boys a lot, and I truly, truly loved that. And then unfortunately, you know, we went our separate ways. But the good thing was we were very good at co parenting. And he helped me with the kids till the day he passed. And I was there by his side. That's how close we were, no matter what. And I think that helped my kids a lot.
So, like, for me, obviously, I was married to my older kid's dad. Granted, we were very, very young. We had our son I was 19, he was 20, and got married at that age. So, obviously, when we split, I mean, it was more like he did his things at his house, I did mine here at my house. I mean, we kind of just really talk more about like the bigger issues of when we need to parent them. And now that I'm with my little's dad, we're not married. I mean, we've been together for now
7 8 years.
yeah, no, 8,
Yeah,
9, 10,
because
11, 12. No, wait, 18, 18, 14, 15, 8 years. We've been together 8 years.
see, I know more.
I know. We're married. We're practically married, not legally, but from being single so long, I mean, I got a divorce in 2013
Excuse me.
and then didn't get with Abraham till 2018. It's been a learning curve of, I mean, before when I was single and I would want to go on a vacation, it was, hey, I have the weekend off, let's go on a vacation.
I
Hey,
miss those times.
hey, there's a cool festival happening downtown. I'm going to take the kids. Let's go. Where now it's, well, does he work? You know, does he have time to come with us? Hey, I'm sure he would like to enjoy this little festival, this little gathering. And so now it's so different of me just picking up and going, where now it's I have a significant other to say, hey, can we go? Will you come? And since his work is so demanding, it's kind of hard to tell more or less if he's going to be able to come or hang out. So it's a big learning curve for me.
I mean, that's something that you brought up right now about vacations. Now that you have your family, that was very hard for me because I, like you, I was used to let's get up and go and pack up my kids, pack up my mom, let's
Yeah.
go Disneyland, hit the road, everything. And when I was married to Pat, I would forget and I would plan my vacation. And then I remember about a few days before I was going to take off, I tell him, oh, hey, I need the car service. I need this and that. And he'd look at me like, why? And I said, well, I'm going on vacation. And he'd look at me like, where are you going? And I said, oh, I'm going to California, taking the kids to Disneyland, to the beach, to this, to that. And he'd look at me like, what the heck are you doing? And I'd look at him like, what's wrong? He says, well, you never told me. And then I'd go, oh, yeah, I forgot. Well, I'm telling you now, I'm going on vacation.
Yeah.
And, really, we would go on vacation. We would take separate vacation. We went on one vacation once and it was miserable. So I said, I'll never go to vacation with you. You go on your own and I'll go with the kids.
Don't lose
And
it.
that's the way it was all the time, you know. But there
Yeah.
were certain things because I had been single for so long, I forgot. I never realized that I had someone else, and we
Yeah.
had to.
No, yeah. And I mean, there are some vacations where he can't come, but I love that he doesn't. Well, I can't go, you can't go. No, it's I can't go, but you and the kids have fun. What I think is so crazy though, like again, pretty much all of my vacations, I would go with my mom and the kids, and we. I am only 35, but I am an old lady, so we only go to visit my aunt, her sister, and we're just really mellow. She lives in like the smallest town ever. So we don't go anywhere. We just hang out at her house and not
See,
do anything.
see the sights in the little town, which is a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
like it's literally the town you can drive through it in like 10, 15 minutes. It's tiny.
Excuse me. I remember the kids used to would love to go because we would hit all the yard sales, and they thought that was the greatest thing.
And I think it's so funny, like bringing that up as a kid when I would go with my grandma to go visit my aunt. I hated going because there was literally, they do not have a mall in her town. They do not have the big things. It's literally such a tiny town.
What is the biggest store around there?
Walmart. And it's like there's no Target. They barely got a Starbucks, and it's not even like the full Starbucks. Like they're limited on things, I believe.
But now you like the Walmart, don't you?
Well, yes, their Walmart has good prices there. But I didn't like to go. It was always so boring. I mean, that was pretty much a lot of the vacations we did. And it was always to me so boring because I'm like, there's nothing to do here. Like, we have a mall or we could go do this. Where my kids in their childhood love it. I mean, my son is 16 and to this day is like, are we going to go see my tia? When are we going to go see my tia? But back to the vacationing with Abraham, again, I'm a mellow type of vacation type of girly. And he is more of the adventure. Let's do all the sights, all the fun things. And so when we went, where did we go? We went anytime we go, like even my kids are more like mellow. And so whenever we have to go on a vacation with Abraham, I have to be in the mentality of it's not a vacation where I get to hang out in a nice hotel and like veg out by the pool. It's sightseeing and amusement parks or
It's time.
yeah, and those vacations I'm like it's a big difference from when I would go alone to now that I have my partner and I go and he does do things that are like my speed, but still it's a lot and it's just completely different.
And you come back from a vacation needing a vacation.
Yeah. I mean, thank God I'm a stay-at-home mom, so when we do come home from vacation, the kids go back to school and Abraham goes to work and I have a day to kind of just like decompress. But yeah, it's a lot different when from the single momhood to being in a relationship.
And now I go on vacations by myself.
Yeah, and like that's the other part is we go on our family vacations, but I guess I mean, my mom doesn't come. She does her own vacations, and we do our family vacations. And my little one always says, like, "Can't Grandma come?" And as much as I would love my mom to come, we just do so much that she wouldn't
I couldn't do it.
be able to handle it. And Abraham likes to go to places. We went to Colorado, and it was snowing, so it was freezing. We went to Dallas and Austin in the summer, which was humid as heck. We went to Arizona in the middle of summer. Like, we go to these extreme places when we probably shouldn't. And my mom would either freeze or melt. So,
I mean, this is one thing. I go to Dallas to see my son. And so far, every place where he's lived, the apartments, he has an elevator. This last one, because there was only 3 stories there, in those apartments, they don't put an elevator. So I would have to climb 3 story, up 3 stories of stairs. Believe me, that's very hard. I can barely do the 3 stairs here at the house. Well, now the kids want me to go. They're asking me, and his kids are already grown. Um, they're telling me, Grandma, are you coming? Grandma, are you coming? And I would always go in October and, for Halloween. And my granddaughter Reese was asking me that the other day. And I told her, no, mija, I'm not going in October. And she goes, oh. I said, no, if I go, I'm going in November so we can do Thanksgiving. She got all excited. Oh, God, I get to have turkey and blah, blah, blah. And then I said, I will go, honey, but you have to promise me something. And she goes, what, Grandma? I said, tell your dad to move from where he's at, and either he gets an apartment where there's an elevator and escalator, or they can install one of those little chairs that goes up the stairs. I sit and go, or he gets a townhouse, 1 story, because I cannot do stairs.
So that's an issue for me. I have to learn to share my mom with my brothers. Don't like it. But
Even with your brother here in town, PJ.
I know, but it's because I not that not all the other grandchildren are close to my mom, but because my mom lives here with us in this house, my kids are the closest to her. All of my kids grew up in this house with her. So yeah, like if my brother says, hey mom, come over for Thanksgiving. I know he's just inviting my mom, not my whole entire family, which is fine. But then my kids are like, well, you're leaving. Why? Like, mom, and I mean, even when she goes on vacation on a random Tuesday, when are you coming home? How long are you going to be there? You have to come home, and why? And so it's hard on me because then I'm like, why are you doing this to my children? Just stay here. Stop. But it's also good because, like I said, my mom lives here. So when she does leave, I don't want to say it's a vacation for my mom, but it's a vacation for my mom.
And it's a vacation from her.
My mom has OCD. So my clean is not clean to her. And then I get upset and I just let her do everything. But now that she's in her older age, she doesn't want to do anything.
Well, it's just that I can't do a lot of things.
Right. But it's I don't know. Like you always say, well, it's your house. Do whatever.
Well,
And then I say, like, okay, the house is clean. And you're like, okay, whatever. And then I'm like, then you get up and clean. And then you say, no, it's your house. So then I'm like, shut up. Be happy.
It's kind of hard.
But I mean, for the most part, we're able to handle each other and not kill each other.
Yeah, no, it's been good, and I appreciate her so much because now, and I appreciate her more now because as I'm getting older, I can't move as fast as I used to. I can't do things like I used to. Like really, if I'm gonna clean it, and I clean my bedroom, that's all I can do for a whole week because I'm exhausted. Where I used to be able to clean the whole house. That was my 3 bedrooms, a bathroom, a kitchen, a living room, dining room, laundry room. I even would go out and do the front yard. Ask me to do it now.
And I think with us doing the deep cleaning, we did what was it Friday?
Uh-huh.
So, and even if it's just yes, you helping me with the spot cleaning, we've been good. I've been better about getting on the kids, about getting the crap out of the room, and yes, we may leave a cup or a water bottle, and that's what you say. Oh, I'm cleaning, but I'm like, but it's nothing crazy. We've gotten a lot better. My room has stayed clean.
Yeah.
You can walk in there, like, the kitchen. Well, the kitchen's a little messy right now because we just had dinner, but I think it's so funny. Like, I see how slow my mother is moving now. I don't know if she doesn't see it or she doesn't want to see it. So every so often, like, she'll get upset with me and I just want my own house and I'm gonna move out. And I'm like, no, you're not. Like, You can't. The other day, my niece, she lives in Austin and calls and, is telling my mom, you should get the life alert thing. So, like, if something happens to you, push it. And I'm like, my mom won't even remember to have it on her. So I'm like, if she falls, who the heck is going to. Half the time she loses her phone. Half of the time yeah, where's your phone?
I just remembered it's charging.
Uh-huh. Half the time she loses her glasses. And somebody wants her to have a life alert, and I'm like, I love you, but you can't live alone. Like, if I were to have her live alone, honestly, you would have to live in a retirement home. No. So somebody's watching you. I mean, I know you're not going, but that would be the only way, because I'm sorry, if you fall somewhere.
I mean, they don't even let me drive. I used to drive to Arizona by myself.
No, because we are driving down the road, and it's me driving. She's over here, hey, putting the emergency brakes, and I'm like, girl, if you were the one driving and you actually slammed on your brakes for no reason, you're gonna be the one causing the accident. Now, I am the child who is taking care of the adult. The tables have flipped. I have to scold my mom like a little kid. She was sick for damn near 2 weeks. And she was like, I don't feel good, but I want to go outside and I want to do that. And I'm like, no, get your butt in bed and sleep. But it's because I don't want to sleep anymore. I'm tired of sleeping. Well, you're sick. Go to the room and go to bed.
Well, now she knows what I went through, taking care of her.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is. And for any of you mommies out there that have your mommies, appreciate them, because you don't last very long. And mommies, appreciate your daughters, even though they yell at us, but they do it because they love us. And yes, tables are turned. We become the children, and you all become the parent.
So one day you will get to yell at your mother the way she yells at you.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
another question I have for you. What is the difference that you have experienced between us kids and your grandkids?
Oh, that's easy.
Uh-oh.
I love them. I pamper them, giving them anything they want. And it's easy because I don't have to take care of them. I don't have to discipline. I don't have to put up when they're hyper on candy. She does.
I mean, you kind of have to with my children, since we
Yeah,
all live
but
under the same roof.
yeah, but when that happens, what do? I go to my room and she takes care of it. But yeah, but that's the role that happens, because I remember I would ask my mom the same thing. Why do you let my kids do whatever they want? She goes, because they're my grandchildren. And it's true, because when they were little, I was working. And then I'd come home and make sure my house was clean. And then I had to make dinner. And then I had to make sure everybody did their homework, did their bath, get to bed. And while they were asleep on certain days, I always had everything planned out. Certain days I did laundry. So while they're asleep, I'm doing laundry. And my boys had to make sure all their laundry was in the hamper. God forbid if it wasn't, I washed, and then they didn't have clothes. They ran out, and I tell them, I washed this day. Well, this was here. Well, tough luck. So then they kind of thought, I can do it when she's gone to work. Well, then I started packing all the laundry supplies in my car, because they had to learn. You put your clothes in the laundry basket. But I ran a tight home. They always had clothes ready for school. The house was clean. I took them to school, picked them up right after work, went to work, whatever I had to do, made dinner. I mean, and I did all that all week so that I could have the weekend with them. And my house had to be clean. Heaven forbid if it was messy. I mean, I remember my mom would come and say, I'm going to help you. I'm going to go at least 2 days out of the week and help you with the kids and all this and that. And then I remember I'd come home and she'd be mad at me because she'd say, there's nothing I can do here when I'm here. And I go, well, what do you want to do? She goes, well, your house is so clean. I don't have anything to clean. Laundry's already done. I go, but I don't bring you home to do that. Then sometimes I'd come home and my furniture was all rearranged, and then that would drive me crazy. So when she'd leave, I put it all back the way I had it.
And for those of you who have caught on, whenever she refers to only the boys and having to do that, I technically didn't live with my mom growing up.
No.
So it's not that she's excluding me and calling me one of the boys. It's just she literally only raised the boy.
Yeah, but that was because after I had Mercy, I had her
Mercedes.
late, but I was 37. Shortly after I had her, I started having a lot of thyroid issues. And I became deathly skinny, and they finally diagnosed that I had a thyroid problem, and I would be weak and tired, so I had a very hyperthyroid. And upon that, they discovered then I had cancer. All this coming when uh, she was already 2, but during the time she was a newborn, I couldn't take care of her. I was too weak, so my sister Patsy and her husband took her in. So most of the time, or during all that time, she grew up thinking they were her parents and I was the aunt. And then I came down with cancer, so that was even worse. I couldn't take care of her because of the chemo treatments and all that, being sick. It was impossible. So, yeah, she grew up pretty much with my sister and her husband and her family, which she calls them mom and dad to this day. And her cousin Laura, she calls her sister. And I love that because I always thought she's not missing out on a family. I was a single mom, but she had the life of a family, a mom and dad. And I appreciate them to this day. And I remember my sister, um, as she got older, and Mercy finally realized I'm her mother, and she would come to me on weekends. And my sister said, well, I guess she can start calling me aunt. I don't want you to be hurt because she calls me mom. And I remember I cried and I told her she can call you mom forever. That to me is the most beautiful thing because you are her mom. She raised you.
Yeah.
And I have no hate or anger or jealousy. No, I love it. I love it so much.
So if you ever hear me res- refer to my parents, I'm talking about them and then my mom. Or if I ever I'm talking to her and I'm like, oh well, mom did this, it's because I'm speaking about my other mom.
I remember the school.
Oh yeah,
That was a lot of fun.
when both of them would show up and I'd be like, oh my moms are here, and they'd be like, what? And would have to go down the well, that's my aunt, but she raised me, so I call her mom, and that's my real mom. And well, how come you don't live with your mom? And I'm like, well, I just live with my mom and dad, and I go with my mom on the weekends, and I lived with them pretty much. I tried to go back with her sixth grade,
Hmm. But it was
but
hard.
she worked,
I had to be at work at 6 in the morning, so I'd be up at 4 in the morning getting ready.
so then she would have to get me up, get ready for school, drop me off with my parents, and then my parents would take me to school because my mom was a stay-at-home mom. So then it was just like it's too hard. So I really didn't move in with you.
You were already in high school.
Yeah, high school.
Yeah, because
So
that's when I got a regular job where I went in at 8 and I could drop her off at school
yeah,
and
so
all.
I lived with my parents up until high school years.
Hmm.
Then I moved in with her and never left. But
I guess it was just normal.
it's my normal for sure. What else are we
So
talking
what
about?
else did you want to know about? me.
I don't know. I know everything about you pretty much. Do you want to talk about how you met my dad?
Like I said, I used to go to the disco, and I remember we were at this place, and I mean, nobody would ever, unless you were a disco person and you were back in my time, if there's any of you of my age, I used to hang out at one of the places was called the Peanut Gallery. And there was this guy that was after me, and I didn't want him, and he was always trying to take me out, and I went off to dance with someone. And then one of the times, um, that guy was coming to ask me out, and then my that came to ask me out. I had my head down, so I knew he was on this side. So this was someone else. I went with him, and we're dancing. I never looked up to see what he looked like or anything. And we're dancing, dancing, and then the song ended. He was going to sit me down, but I noticed that he was waiting for me to sit down, and he was going to take me back to my table. Music starting to say, "No, let's dance some more." And I was okay. So we're dancing. So this went on through the night. And then the night ended, we're all walking to our cars, and then he asks me for my phone number. Well, I always would give a false phone number because, I thought I don't want to get attached or anything. And he asked me for my phone number, and I was like, oh, okay. So I gave him a number. And then that Sunday, the phone rings, I answer it, and he asks for me, and I'm like, yeah, this is her. And he says, oh, hi, how are you doing? And blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. Who is this? He goes, this is Pat, the guy that I met you, blah, blah, blah. And I go, oh. And he goes, oh. And I go, oh, yeah. And then he goes, I know what's going on. I go, what? He says, you thought you gave me the wrong number and you ended up giving me the right number. I would never do that. No, I just like forgot who you are and blah, blah, blah. Well, long story short, we ended up going out and we ended up together, had our baby boy, and history.
And
But it was
again,
funny.
that's my stepdad,
Yeah.
and so she just says baby boy. But he literally took me in like his daughter, and that's just my dad, along with my dad Tony. So,
Oh. Oh. Okay.
like,
Okay. Sorry.
um,
No, but yeah. And, I can say that, even after I had Mercy and Pat and I had already split up, I can honestly say I never bought any men with any of my children. My boys, the only man they knew was their dad, Pat, and my PJ the same, and Mercy was the same. I never, after that, I never dated anyone, I never went out. I dedicated myself to my kids totally. So, pretty much most of my time, I've been single,
yeah,
single until I met Richard, and that's about,
that I was like 11 or 12.
yeah.
Hated him
Mm-hmm.
because I was so used to
Me being
it just
alone.
being my mom, and it was weird to have a male figure around, and it was just weird. And then I got used to it one day, and then it just didn't bother me.
Yeah.
But he was a decent
But it was
guy.
nice. I mean, even her kids
Yeah.
got to know him. Pretty much all my grandkids got to know him,
Mm-hmm.
and they all knew. Oh, you're with Richard, okay, and blah blah blah. And we were like together off and on for a very long time, 20 some odd years, and then it ended. What, two two
Two
years
years ago.
2 years ago? It's sad. I still heard about it
Me
because
too.
of the fact that it we had a relationship for so long, and basically how it ended. And it's not like, I don't want to say really, how could you
It
say,
was just their differences. They had too much differences, and it just in the end wasn't meshing well together. And with them being old, they were just stuck in their ways and didn't want to accommodate each other.
we tried.
And yeah, it didn't work. And we wish him nothing but the best and hope he's doing well and don't wish him ill. And
Yeah, but I'm happy with my baby and my babies, and going off to visit my sister, then going off to visit my son. I don't have to tell anybody. I can stay as long as I want. This last time I was gone for about a month, and I'll be leaving again soon. It all works out good. You know, I could say I've had a very good life.
I think so.
Very good.
Very eventful from what I can recall.
Hmm.
So let's talk about you being Paranormal Glamma. How did you start that?
Honestly,
You did it for about a year ish.
yeah, but I mean, I remember we were sitting here one day, and I had my TikTok, but I wouldn't really do anything. And I don't know,
I don't know how we came up with the idea of her telling ghost stories. Um, you know what? I do know. You would watch that girl who did her makeup and
oh
told ghost
yes,
stories, Bailey or something.
well, she did crime.
Crime. And I was like, what if you do something like that, but ghost stories? Because we used to live in a haunted house. And I'm like, we have tons of those stories. So, how it started was we did chat GPT. It helped us come up with her name and more or less of what kind of video she was supposed to do. So, we did start off with the get ready with me's. And the only bad thing is, my mother is a homebody and doesn't really go anywhere much. So, it was like, what am I getting ready for? So then we pivoted to just her sitting here on the couch telling ghost stories.
Yeah, and I mean, it's stories that have happened to me since I was little, living in my childhood home. And then I started thinking, it's like everywhere I went, everywhere I've lived, there's always something, there's always something. And I'm going to say, not until I moved in with my uh, ex boyfriend Richard to his house, I realized that I have a ghost that follows me everywhere, every place I live, because then things started happening at his house that he said, I've never had that. I mean, we'd find footprints on the floor, and noises at night. Just too many things were happening. And that's when I realized I have a spirit that's attached to me. And I believe it happened like when I was a teenager and I played with the forbidden Ouija board. And here in this house, we have the spirits that are here along with mine. And with that, Mercedes is very sensitive. And I remember we were at my childhood home. She was growing up there. And I remember sitting her on the dining room table, getting her ready to go out. And we had a big picture window in the hall, and combing her hair, putting on her shoes. She'd look out the window and she'd go, who's that man standing there? And I'd look and I go, honey, there's nobody. She goes, yeah, he's standing right there. Well, I always thought, oh, because we live close to the bus stop. I thought somebody got off the bus, they're walking down, she's seeing them. So I never paid attention to that until as she got older, she would tell me, "Ooh, do you see that man or that lady standing over there? They're just staring at me." And I'd look and I go, "There's nobody there." And she goes, "Mom, they're wearing," and she would describe to me what they were wearing, and they're just staring at me. Then I started to think, "Oh God, she sees dead people."
I'm like the sixth
Yeah.
sense kid.
Uh-huh. So we started realizing, and then she was able, or she's able to communicate uh,
But I don't.
with
I
them.
turn it off.
She does that. And we even have, or not me, her uncle, my brother and his wife, uh, she
I
didn't
had to live
believe,
with them briefly.
she didn't believe what Mercy would say and feel, and she thought Mercy was doing it for attention. And they were very close to these nuns, and she had this nun come to talk to Mercy to try to find out what the heck is going on. Well, lo and behold, uh,
I
she,
guess that nun had been around other psychics before and they pulled her stuff, and I was able to give off the same information that the other medium psychics gave her to where then everybody believed me.
yeah. Also, your cousin Valerie, she has
Yeah.
it too, and she turns it off.
Yeah. And
I think because there was no one around to help guide you, which I did try, but you asked me not to do it for you. You didn't want to, you were afraid, so I respected you. And that they didn't, even my niece didn't have someone to help her,
yeah.
that your best thing was turn it off. I don't want.
Yeah.
But with my what do you want to say? I call it my page, my whatever on TikTok, talking about the stories that I've been through, things that I've been through, both here and other houses that I lived, even with my sister in Arizona. I've had some encounters there because, like I always say, there's spirits everywhere. And sometimes even more spirits are, some spirits are stronger than others and come out more. But I've loved doing that. I've loved it.
And I think with, my mom being retired and such a homebody, her starting this page too was a way for her to express herself. It gave her something to do. And honestly, oh my God, I didn't realize how many followers you have. You have 971 followers.
Whoa.
She's almost to 1,000.
And I know I did a thing that if ever I got to 1,000, I'm giving away one of my cups, and it's going to be bedazzled. So really, I haven't forgotten about it. Once I get to the 1,000, I am going to do the raffle. So if you're not following me now, following me, you might win my cup.
Paranormal Glamma is her name. But I just think that was just such a good way for her to do something. She made a lot of internet friends, and so many people like really tuned into her stories and
They're so sweet.
engaged with her. And you know there were times, my mom had to take mini breaks, or she would go on vacation and focus on her vacation, to where when she would come back, all of her little fans, I guess, ghosties, as she calls them, would, hey, we missed you, and hope you're doing better, or hope you enjoyed your vacation. And why did you why did you stop?
I want to say, um, last year, there was a lot of things going on with the family. My brother got real sick. We almost lost him. My sister, her mom got sick. She ended up in the hospital too. And, that took a lot on me. I came back in January. I kind of started again. But now, the first 5 months of the year are very hard for me. I lost my granddaughter 3 years in February. It was a big shock. She went off in her sleep. And um February is a very, very hard month, and I go into a horrible depression. I don't get out of bed. February is a very hard month for me, and I'm just going through a hard, deep depression. And when I was coming out of it, and it stays the whole month. Thank God it was spring break for the kids, so we took a trip to go see my sister. I was doing great. I thought I'm coming out of it. I'm going to do good. And then I got sick when we got back. Took me a while. Um, and now, you know, I'm better. I just got through her birthday month, April. It just goes on and on. I just have to get through May to go past Mother's Day because she was a mommy and she left her little girl. But my fans, I hope I'll be back once May finishes. I think the rest of the year will be clear for me. I will get over this depression and I'll come back strong with more stories to tell. But please, I thank you all for your support. As a grandma, it's hard to lose a grandchild. But my ghosties, I really plan to come back full strength and strong. I'm going to tell you in June. And that, my ghosties, is why I've been MIA all this time. Got to get over the depression, uh, my colds, and quite frankly, it's my old age. You start slowing down.
But it's just been crazy. You've slowed down, and
Yeah,
so have things here.
you know what? That's true. I've noticed. Uh, it's quiet. It was so strong since October.
But do you think we really haven't been watching scary things?
No, I'm just watching alien stuff right now.
Yeah, you're watching your aliens, and I watch all of my trash TV.
Yeah,
So maybe that's why.
maybe that's it. Yeah, it slowed down. I'm not telling my stories.
If you guys have any stories that you want her to tell in June, you guys can either DM her on Paranormal Glamma or email her at paranormalglamma@gmail.com.
Yes, I would love to tell your stories.
If you guys want to be anonymous, just in the DM or email, let her know anonymous, and she'll keep you anonymous.
Yes, but honestly, it has been a lot of fun. Me being and telling all these stories, I loved it. It like brought me back to life.
Yeah.
Brought me back to life, and like I said, these months are very, very hard for me. And I'll be strong in June because I think from June on, it's a pretty clear road. And how is it? I come back with a bang, a punch. I'll be ready. Anything else?
I think that's going to be it. It is now 8 o'clock on a Sunday, and well, you guys will be seeing this on a Thursday. But it's time to get my little back to bed and ready for the week. And
me to get back to my alien stories.
there you go. So, on that note, we're just gonna sign off, and we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully, Jordan's feeling better and is back. And we're planning to do something cute and fun for a Mother's Day special.
Oh, that'll be cool.
So, we'll see you guys next week.
And this is Paranormal Glamma. signing off.